I want to go into a live stream, as you can see on the title. All right, Jacob and Eve. All right, the yoke is still heavily laid upon you. It is now through debt. You were never free. Right, you were never free. All right, and let's go back to the plantations, the agrarian style of slavery. All right, the agricultural plantations, man. All right, the agricultural form of slavery. All right, when we were plowmen. All right, we picked cotton, and hey, in the state of Mississippi, there is cotton. There's cotton fields still here in the state of Mississippi, but now it's extracted through tractors as opposed to human hands. Nonetheless, it's still here. It still grows, and this is the white gold of the South that made many millionaires. All right, in the 1800s. All right, I want to say 1865. Natchez, Mississippi had more millionaires, if not billionaires, and there's still old money here as a result of the labor. Now, how much money of that have we seen? But there's no way you can pay us back for 24 trillion hours of slavery. All right, there's no way you can pay us back for what you've done through money. Nonetheless, we were taught in our school systems, in Esau school systems, all right, is that we were freed from slavery through Abraham Lincoln. All right, but we were never freed. We were just transferred, and that's what the emancipation was about. The emancipation was the transfer. The bankers started the Civil War, all right, and the Underground Railroad and all those things to take power from the South. That's why if you were to come down to the South, you will see a bunch of Confederate flags. If you were in the state of Mississippi, you know, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, there are in the rural areas especially, you will see Confederate flags because they had this mindset, this was our country, that the South was ours, all right? And they lost that form of power when they lost that war. In turn, they lost those slaves. That's why they came up with Jim Crow. Okay, but nonetheless, they lost that form of power when their slaves were transferred from the South and from being agricultural slaves to ultimately industrial slaves. Because what happened ultimately, we went into those industries. All right, this is a post the Industrial Revolution. All right, when we was running those textile mills. Okay, just different facilities like that. But they at least needed hands in those industries, man. Okay, so like I said, the propaganda, it was just it's a deception. It tells you in the book of Job, that he's a forger of lies, man. All right, and not only did we go from being agricultural slaves to industrial, all right, we became slaves to debt. Mind you, these are bankers that run America. Think of the word bankers. What does a banker have the power to do? He has the power to loan you something, right? He has the power to loan you. Now, the scripture says what? The borrower is a servant to the lender. So, fast forward to 2024. This nation of people who think that they are free, all right, they're slaves to debt. Okay, but I'm jumping the gun. Let me go back. We went from being agrarian slaves to industrial slaves, man. All right, and the elites took that power from the Confederate South. through quote unquote liberating, which he really transferred the slaves, man. And if it's too windy, brothers can let me know, because I could just walk back to my car. Okay? But so just we never got free, man. We were never fucking free. And the scripture says in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that he'll lay a yoke of iron upon your neck, man. And if you Google image yoke of iron, we are going to pop up, man. We are going to pop up. We literally had a yoke of iron on our necks, man. You know? You see? But now, the yoke of iron has become what? Debt. Alright? But ultimately, alright, going back to the beginning, we got free, so-called free, really transferred. That's the more appropriate word, transferred from the agricultural South to being, you know, going up north. And of course, in the South, we have sharecroppers, which is really you having your shack on Esau's land, you know, plowing his land, you know, and he renting out tools to you that you have to pay back. And that was a form of debt that he used. That was a finesse that he used, because he charged you for using his plow and his donkey and all these things, and that kept you in debt as well. All right, that was his post-slavery system to keep you a slave, man. You don't have to pick cotton to be a slave, man. You can just be indebted to something, man. Okay. So this is what happened with Jake. Jake went from the agrarian, agricultural South, all right, to the industrial North, and hence the whole Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad, all these different things. Now, these was to get Jake ultimately these industries, man. All right, the hands and feet had to work these different textile mills and all those different things, these cotton gins. You see? So Esau has a mentality, trust me, I stay in the South, man. Esau has a mentality like they own us, man. Like this is our thing, man. Like this is nation, man. And they have a legacy of that mindset. You know? They have a legacy over that mindset. Like they pass that mindset down from generation to generation. That we were just their property, man. Come on, man. You know? But then we fast forward to the 60s, where we had that, what was that, second wave of feminism? All right, but even in the 1800s, the first wave, women have always fought to be free. The Edomite woman has always fought to have some type of independence, right? Then you have the second and third wave, right? But Eve, she bit that fruit, she ate that fruit, she consumed it. She consumed a mindset, because that's what the fruit was. It was a mindset, it was a philosophy. All right, she consumed that fruit of being liberated from her master, her leader. All right, her leader, who? Us. So she went from being our helpmeet to a corporate helpmeet. Eve, that's why I entitled it the lesson, Jacob and Eve, you were never free. Eve, you were never free. You went from being a domestic helpmeet to a corporate helpmeet, but justified for the same finesse. And what was the finesse? What was the hustle? Debt slavery. You know how many Evites I've met with over $50,000 in debt from school? 90,000. School was that important. Why did you have to get a loan for it, man? If college is that important, why did you have to get a loan? Why is it required for you to get a loan, man? So you know how many Evites, they're burdened with debt? I'm quite sure certain sisters are too. I mean, we're in Egypt, for crying out loud. But $50,000 debt, $80,000 student loan, $100,000 student loan. You know? Credit card debt. You see? Car note. You got that nigga credit, you know that car note high, and the average car note is like $500 a month. regardless of what you got going on. So you got that car note, that insurance, that credit card debt, that student loan. You got that apartment, the utilities, or you might have that mortgage. All right. Then you fat, like you eat processed food. So that's a setup for you to get addicted to that substance, so you could get on fall for the other hustle. All right, big pharma. You could be really a slave to their pills. All right, because this is never going to heal you, but you're dependent on it, so you won't feel the pain. And it's like this Eve is Jake too. You see? So yeah, you got these car loans with this high interest rate. You got this insurance. All right. Oh, you still having little ones. All right, you still dealing with men. You having little ones, but now you got this daycare. This expensive daycare. When really you was supposed to be the daycare. All right. You dealing with the stress of being at work all day, working overtime, working man hours. You see? Working these man hours. You see? You stress the fuck out. I remember seeing Eve, like in my apartment complex unit, leaving the house with smoking a black and mild like a nigga, man. Eve stressed the fuck out. You know? But you asked for this. Or you joined the party that brought you into it, man. Why would they at least give a fuck what a man got going on in his house unless him giving a fuck and breaking it up would benefit him, man? It benefited the elites to liberate you. But Eve, she sold, and this how you know this is a hustle. Because Esau demonized a strong so-called black man, the Mr. from Color Purple archetype. The dark-skinned dude on Tyler Perry archetype. The bark like a doll, right? But Esau never demonized NBA Youngboy. He never demonized a street nigga image. He only demonized the upright image. You see? Because right in that same space where he really demonized a man being the head of the household, what happened shortly after, man? All right? Prison industrial complex, gangster rap, you know? You had the 60s, the 70s. In the 70s, you had Superfly. So you destroyed the image of the so-called black man and replaced it with the drug dealer, man. You see? So, like I said, why would this man really sincerely care about what we have going on in our household, man? But now Esau can text the man, the woman, indoctrinate the kids. That's what Aaron Russo was talking about, man. And it's all going to lead to the Karakma, man. Because this world is basically going to get digital. It's going to become digital. And this is the interconnection of things. And the way you're going to plug into these smart cities, all right, is through the Karakma, man. All right? And Esau might erase all your debt if you have that Karakma, man. He's going to get some type of incentive. So you know Eve is going to fall for it because she wants that convenience, man. Because Eve lives like an aristocrat in America, man. Go eat steak and lobster, you know? Buffets and have Uber Eats sent to her house and like a queen, which is a whore that has paramours. You have different visitors come to your apartment. It's not normal. But Egypt did have promiscuous queens. So Eve really lives like that, man. But you're a slave. Like I said, most Evites, they're subject to what? Payments. Most Jakes, he's subject to payments. Child support, man. You see? Constable pulling up to your job. You know? You were never free. You just became a slave to debt. All right? You were freed or liberated from these southern plantation owners just to be a slave in these industries and ultimately a slave to debt, man. So Esau got it set up to where instead of you going through indentured servitude for 6 years and being free on the 7th, all right, no, you're gonna work for 20, 30, 40 years. You're gonna work for 20, 30, 40 years, but he's gonna give you bread and circuses. So of course you could go to church on Sunday, you go to the club on Saturday, you go to these bars, he gave everybody big flat screen TVs and everybody could watch the Roman gladiators. Today we call it what? Sports, NBA, NFL, you know, track, the Olympics. Yeah, it all goes back to Greece, man. You see? See what they did, but you all have to go back to work Monday. You know? And there's different levels of it. There's different levels to it. Some people make more money than others, but ultimately, the average Egyptian in Egypt is in debt. Even if they make 6 figures, a lot of them still live above their means. They're walking on a tightrope financially. You see? But that's the point, man. You are never free. You're just debt slaves. It's a different form of slavery now. The bankers liberated everybody to be in debt. Oh, speaking of, like Eve, being out of shape, man. You know, you're indebted to hospital bills. You know, that's crazy, man. You see, it's good to speak about building a house with other men's money. What do you think a mortgage is, man? It's collateral to the bank that you're gonna pay this loan. All right, that's what a mortgage is, man. Mort means dead, gauge or gauge, or it means pledge. It's a death pledge because you use the house as collateral, all right, to this bank. So you're gonna pay off this particular loan, man. You see? If you can't pay the loan or the mortgage, you lose your house. That's not natural. That's not of Yahweh Bahashim Yahawashi. You know? But you were born and raised into this man's empire, into this man's kingdom. So a lot of you don't even see it as free, or a lot of you don't even see it as slavery, man. And the Esau beat your self-worth out of you, so you don't feel like you're somebody unless you're on a higher level in Egypt. Like, you make more money, now you're important, man. That's part of that grievous wound, man. That's low self-esteem, man. Poor self-esteem, poor self-image, man. But it's all a result of 350 years in Egypt, man. 400 years in Egypt, man. You see? You were born into a false environment, you know? You were born away from your native land. All right, but once again, Jacob and Eve, the yoke is still heavily laid upon you. You were never free. All right? You're just a slave. You're just a debt slave now. We're debt slaves, man. You know, you can feel it. Because if you ever had garnishments due to debt, or you ever owed money when if you paid it off, you got the garnishments paid off, when that debt is paid, you feel like something has been lifted from you, man. A burden has been lifted. That's some of that yoke has been lifted up from you, man. You know, let's say you're on child support, then your son or daughter turns 18, 21, whatever age it is that you stop paying. What happened? You probably feel like a burden has been lifted from you, man. You know? But that's pretty much the point. You know, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Chai HaKodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect, the Bible Baal, Kamel Shalom, Shalom.